It doesn't matter it doesn't matter to the people that have created this injustice. It doesn't matter to them what they've done. No one's losing any sleep over it. This is a very particular group of people that have coalesced to destroy someone, and they're not losing any sleep over that. None of the consultants, none of the police, not the prosecutor, not the CPS, not Evans, not any of the other so-called experts. None of them. They don't care. What has to be gripped as an idea, the truth of the idea is that there's no morality there. There's no morality there. They don't care whether Lucy Letby is innocent or guilty. They care that they could make her guilty. Police cared that they could... They don't care whether there was any crimes or not, the police, as long as they can get a conviction. That's how corrupt it is. They prefer to get a conviction for a crime that didn't occur. Look how many they've got. Look how many they've created with the help of Evans and the consultants and the ridiculous CPS and the ridiculous so-called justice system. They've won. They won that. I don't know what... I'm not sure what else there is to talk about it. I mean, they've just got to... You need a proper defence team. If they're not corrupt, or if they're not utterly incompetent, they need to have a defence team to use all the arguments that have been presented by people like Dr. McLachlan and others, over the last 5 or 6 weeks, or more, slightly more. That's it. That is your defence. But to present it through... I don't know, I keep saying experts. I mean, fucking hell. Experts is why this injustice has happened. Experts is why the injustice has happened. The name, the idea, the concept, the belief in that spell word like clinical. Expert. Expert is why millions of people have been poisoned with substances that the government's told them that they should have. Experts. Experts are lying about the climate. Experts are the reason why Lucy Letby, an innocent person, is in prison. And then you're stuck in this situation where you've got to find other good experts, real experts, or experts that are telling the truth. So is it experts per se, or is it just corrupt ones? Well, it's corrupt ones. But then, at the time when it was happening, Roy Meadow, David Southall, whatever his name was, Southall, I don't know his first name. They were thought of as good experts until they revealed themselves to be bad ones. It's very depressing what all this shows, and what matters, what matters in this case is that can you beat them in their arena, and their arena is the courtroom. And so what have you got to do that? You've got to... If they order a retrial, which I think that might be the way ahead, is that they quash the convictions and order a retrial. And then this time, whoever is the defence, it's got to do it right. And there's no agreed facts about the insulin being added to those bags. Use all the arguments that have been stacked up now. They're all there for you. All the work's been done for you. Don't need to charge £1 million for it. Just copy and paste it from the internet. Will they even bother doing that? What a con a lot of this is, isn't it? We keep being told that these people are good, and they've studied, and then they've got. Well, they took silk. They took silk. You study or you do those courses, and then you take silk, and then you can't even be bothered to fucking defend someone. You're being paid for it as well. Oh, he said, well, he did well. He summed up well. I'm just sick. The system's all wrong. It's got no interest in the truth. The system's got no interest in the truth. It's a theatricality to wow an audience, i.e. the jury, and doesn't care whether it's the truth or not. And then is incredibly slow to want to put mistakes right if they are mistakes. I don't think it is a mistake. This system was created to have the potential to destroy an innocent person like Lucy Letby, as it's destroying Julian Assange. It's not an aberration in the system that allows it to do that. It's not an aberration that something that's just a bit wonked about it. It's designed like that you can do it. And at the same time, claim this moral rectitude and this rigour for this justice system. It's not there. It'll be there to a certain degree if it wants to be. If it doesn't want to be there at all, it'll pull it all away. Like it's doing with the Assange appeal. Like it's done with Lucy Letby. Like it's doing with a host of other unsafe convictions. It's just dragging their feet for year after year after year after year. Start to look into all these cases and you just realise that it's a rotten system. Who's running it? Who's administrating that? What kind of minds? What kind of minds actually get their wages from meant to be working in a justice system and don't give a fuck about the justice or the truth in any way whatsoever? As long as the process is done superficially. I found that with some reactions early on. So, well, it's all regular. It's all regular. The processes it went through. Oh, they did it in a court. Oh, yeah, they found it in the court. We're meant to believe that it's all this. It's all hypnosis. It's all forms of hypnosis. Because you said it's a court. Because you said the jury did this. Because you said they charged the person, that it's got this validity to it, or that even anyone cares whether there's any validity to it. Nobody cares. Involved in that system, making money out of it. They don't care. There's no heart in that. They don't care. That's not how they see their jobs. For the police is to get the conviction, to make it work, to make it fly, to pass it through, to get it over that hoop. It's so cynical. It's more cynical than we can possibly imagine. And they'll do what they can get away with. Is it something to do with the type of people that get involved in those professions? Something to do with the background of some of them, not all. I know I can potentially fall into fallacies about talking about backgrounds, and you've got to be careful, but there's attitudes there, isn't there? I worked in a county court once, and it was to do with divorce and child care arrangements, the family court, and there's a few judges there, and I didn't get to know any of them. We were supposed to call them sir when you went into the office. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't not call other people sir and call that person sir. I'm just not going to do it. So I didn't do it. But when I've worked in shops, I call, which I've done quite a bit, I call everyone sir or madam. Or these days you'd have to worry about misgendering, wouldn't you? But anyway, you know what I mean. It's just, I'm not going to call this guy who's done this a law degree just because he's done that, call him sir on that basis. I don't know anything about him. A lot of them, is that kind of arrogance is there. That sense of superiority is there. And it's in them, it's in that judge, it's in Goss when he sums up that hawkish visage he has and the imperious brows that are staring over with telling lies, lying. Doesn't matter whether he doesn't know whether he's lying or not, because there's no involvement there. There's no care about whether it's true or not. He doesn't care whether it's true or not. That's what it is. That's what I said about theatricality before. They're actors in a plot. They're actors in a plot. They're actors in a plot. Performing roles. Don't care about the reality of what happened there. Don't care about what happened to those babies or the parents. Don't care. Police don't care. It's all a spiel. Don't care. None of them. None of them care. The parents care, obviously. The friends and the family of the parents care. Lucy cares about those babies. Lucy's family cares about her. You say these things. She's obviously a very decent person from a decent home, and then people, arseholes, say things like, "Oh, you're trying to make her out to be like an angel." No, it's not at all. It's just saying she's obviously a decent person. Obviously, but we've got no evidence to the contrary, other than the lies told about her to stitch her up for these crimes that didn't happen even. So you can't use those, I don't think, unless you're of the other opinion that. But that's not. It's just. It makes you realise how empty it all is, actually. All these professions and these institutions, they're empty. Somebody might get kind of lucky and it kind of works after a fashion. You'll get individual policemen do their best with an individual situation, but a case like this, they're overtaken by their egos and their desire to hit targets and get some kind of fame out of it, some kind of empty glamour out of it. That's the way they look at it. That's why they did that flash video. An hours long video with a bunch of knobs talking shit, really. I don't see how anyone. You get there's some of those guy on Twitter who's a doctor, and he goes, "Well, I looked through it all, and I think on balance, I think he wrote something in the BMJ or something. On balance, I think the jury had a very difficult decision, but they made the right decision." Yeah, he's not looked into any of these arguments. It's that laziness. It's that utter laziness of all these people, all on really good money. Utterly lazy and incurious. It's something to do with the system of it as well. It doesn't reward people in which the truth matters. It doesn't reward them. If you're on the Hummingbird team and you start going, "Oh, sorry, Sarge," or "Sorry, Detective Superintendent Constable Hughes, I don't think she's done it at all. I think you go, "What are you talking about? You're off the team. If you think that way, you're off the team. We've got her. Don't you understand? We've got her. We've got the evidence from Evans." Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that. Yeah, right. Any more talk like that, you're off the team. You're off the team. Don't care. Doesn't care. Don't care. You just got to get the conviction. It's like winning a football game or a rugby game. There's no dispassionate seeking of truth in the courtroom, in the CPS process, in the police investigation process. Clearly not in Evans's utterly bankrupt and corrupt process. In Bowen's, in that bloody idiot pathologist they got in there to overturn all the other post-mortems just like that. They're all doing a job, they're all playing a part, they're doing a job, they're getting paid for it, they're delivering what's wanted. There's no independence, they pretend the independence. I think we know all this already, don't we? We know it all. And I hope to God that something happens at the appeal. I mean, we don't know the grounds yet. We don't know the grounds, and was it something to do with the judges summing up or directions? What was the grounds? What were the grounds? I saw the Science on Trial thing about the grounds, saying that the original team is limited as to what grounds they can use, but I'm not sure how much to trust that video. Not saying it's deliberately misleading, I'm just saying, is it correct? I don't know if it is correct. Certain aspects of it didn't sound correct based on other research I've done in terms of, well, it said in there you had to have the same, you couldn't have another team making the application for the appeal even, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, I mean, people mean well and they can make mistakes. I've made millions of mistakes trying to understand this from scratch. It's not that it's deliberate, but the justice system shouldn't be complicated, and it shouldn't go down to who's got the most money. You know, if there's absolutely bottomless pockets of the state to bring the conviction, and then Lucy's only got a maximum of £1 million, which is nothing compared to what the other side had. It shouldn't be about money. All parties concerned in that, if there's an issue, go for the truth. What's the truth of the matter? Not who wins in a sort of a theatrical display in front of the jury, like you're like an amateur actor, like a cringeworthy amateur actor. The way these prosecutors or whoever, it's the wrong system, isn't it? It's the wrong system. I'm not saying the other ones are perfect either, but it's just you see the weaknesses of it. You see the weaknesses, and what hell it would be to be accused of something, and what pot luck it is depending on who you're going to get as a barrister or a solicitor. Unless you've got loads of money and you can really buy yourself. That's it. If Lucy Letby's family had been very, very rich, there would have been a way to, in likelihood, she wouldn't have been found guilty. And it would have cost a lot of money to do that. But how cynical and how wrong is that it costs a lot of money? I mean, let's face it. We know it cost a lot of money, otherwise why did the other ones spend all that money? Why did the other ones spend all that money? Because it costs a lot of money. It shouldn't have to cost a lot of money. Everything people have come up with, I mean, I know there's people with fantastic backgrounds in terms of science and medicine, legal backgrounds, all kinds of stuff, statistical backgrounds, but they've done it ostensibly for free in 5 weeks. So why is it about millions of pounds? Shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. The charade of it, the pomposity of it, the pomposity of the British state, the charade of the justice system. I don't know, it's depressing. Got to think positively, I suppose, and hope that we're waiting to hear, aren't we? We're waiting to hear when, has that single judge, will that single judge grant the leave to appeal? And if so, then you will work towards the appeal, which is meant to be expedited, so that some people have said that because it's such a high profile case, it wouldn't be languishing for too long, then they'll do the appeal. Is it possible that will happen? Is there any light there? I hope so. We don't know what the grounds are. We don't know what the plan is. It's like we're outside of the tent, talking about it, on Twitter or on YouTube, wherever, but we're outside of the tent and we don't know what the conversation's going on inside the tent. Got no idea. There's no communication, as far as I'm aware, between anyone who's concerned and talking about this and anyone inside the tent in terms of the legal defence. But Maybe they have got a plan. Some people have said that it was a plan all along, that you couldn't win it at the trial, but you'd have to wait. You'd have to get some kind of further discovery for the appeal, and then crash it all down. I don't know if that's. It shouldn't be like. Why is all these games? It's obviously a stitch up. It's obviously wrong. It's obviously wrong. The Robin Garbutt case, that I looked into that a little bit. That's obviously desperately wrong. That conviction. Jeremy Bamber looks to be they just let people. Colin Norris. Anyway. Yeah. Just got to pray, I suppose, if you're of the praying nature or kind, that sanity and truth and decency rises again, because what we see here is a sort of, what is corruption? It's indecency, it's disorder. Let's have some order back, please.